Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host as always, Ryan, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I know there's a lot of people out there that do it, but I have never ever fancy booked a pay-per-view before on our video channel, on our YouTube channel. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a AEW versus WWE Forbidden Door crossover pay-per-view. So all people involved will be either from WWE or AEW. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the match lineups, but I'm also going to give you my version of what I think it happen or should happen or how I would book it. And then you can play along as well and let me know in the comment section who you think would win each match too. Something just for a bit of fun, bit of imagination. And like I say, it's something I haven't done before, so we'll see if it's something that you'd enjoy. And if you do, then I can do other ones in the future. So like I say, it's WWE and AEW Forbidden Door. Obviously the Forbidden Door pay-per-view that we have in real life obviously is AEW and New Japan. So I thought, why not do the two biggest companies in the world in WWE and AEW? So like I say, I'll give you the matches and then I'll give you my finish of each match, and then you can let me know in the comments whether or not I picked right or whether or not you've got something different for any of the finishes of the matches. That's fine as well. I've picked 11 matches. I know that seems quite a lot. But the main reason being I had about 30, so I had to whittle it down. I did want to do 10, but I got to the point where I just couldn't drop any more matches off what I'd already dropped. So I've gone for 11. It would be about a 6-hour pay-per-view. But hey, Tony Khan's done like 5-hour ones before, so who are we to argue? And like I say, it's fancy booking. Could well be over 2 nighs. Who knows? So we're going to kick into it with the first match. And like I say, I will give you the match. And then I will give you the finish to each and every match. And like I say, play along with me. Let me know in the comments who you would pick to win each of these following matches. So number one, straight out the bat, and we'll go with Swerve Strickland versus AJ Styles. For me, one of the greatest of all time in AJ Styles, and the most improved wrestler in Swerve Strickland for 2023. You know, there was no one that improved as much as Swerve did from one year to the next. So I want to see these two go at it. I think it'd be an absolutely phenomenal match, as you say. So at the end of the match, I've got Swerve kicks out after the Styles clash. Styles then lines up for a phenomenal forearm. Swerve catches him with a super kick, followed up by that strong kick that he does. I don't know the name of it. I'm not sure if he's actually give it a name. It's where the opponent's on the knees. And he does that strong kick to the side of the head, which looks sick every time. And so he does the strong kick. Swerve goes up to the top rope for the Swerve stomp, but AJ Styles slides out the ring. So his Swerve then rolls through, turns around, Styles connects with the phenomenal forearm and picks up the victory. So the winner for this match is AJ Styles. Like I say, absolute legend in wrestling. So I think that would be a brilliant opener. You've got to start strong if you want people to continue watching. So we'll go for match number 2, and it's the first women's match of the night. It's Hikaru Shida versus Julia Hart versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch. This is the only 4-way I've put in. 4 of the best women in the world of wrestling right now facing off in a fatal 4-way would just be epic. At the end of the match for this one, I've got Becky Lynch has Shida in the disarm here, and she looks ready to tap out when Julia Hart sprays the black mist in Becky's face, who then releases the hold trying to wipe the mist from her eyes. But Asuka manages to slip into the ring behind Julia, turns her around and sprays her with the green mist. Rolls it up and gets the victory. So we've got Asuka picking up the win for this one. So WE and then WE again. Well, you know, you could do that one either way around. You could have obviously having Julia or Asuka and then the other way around. I think it'd just be cool to have both of them spraying the mist, because obviously they've both used it in matches. So I think it'd be quite cool if you did it that way. So match number 3. I've got MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, our AEW champion, before Samoa Joe made him, beat him, before he beat him, and he's going against the Viper, Randy Orton. One of the GOATs in wrestling, Randy Orton, one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, Randy Orton, versus MJF, who's potential to become one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I mean, he's got it all, hasn't he? You know, a lot of people just saying that at first, oh yeah, he's really good on a microphone, he's dead good at promos. But I mean, if anything's to go by his run as AEW World Champ, you know, the dude can go in the ring, and he is underrated as an in-ring talent. You know, people just focus on the fact that he's good on the mic, but he can do both. So I've got this one at the end of the match. MJF has Orton locked in the salt of the earth. After working on Orton's shoulder throughout the match, obviously we know he's had multiple surgeries on his shoulder in the past. Orton manages to get his foot to the rope, and the ref breaks the hold. MJF calls for the kangaroo kick, you know, the kangaroo kick that the fans love so well, which Orton moves out the way of. When MJF gets up off the mat, he is met with a devastating RKO. Orton winces in pain though as he hits the RKO, and he manages just to drape one arm over his fallen victim, but it's not enough to get the victory as MJF kicks out on two. Orton looks pissed. He goes into the corner, lines MJF up for the pump kick. MJF manages to grab his foot and slam Randy Orton to the mat, landing on his shoulder, obviously further injuring what he's already been working on for the match, with MJF then locking in the salt of the earth one more time, and Randy Orton taps out. I've got winner MJF. Are you surprised at that one? I've got Randy Orton tapping out, but to be fair, he's had a shoulder injury, he's had surgery, you know, it's been well documented before. I know recently he's been out with his back problems, but he has had multiple shoulder surgeries before, so the fact that MJF works on it throughout the match and then goes back to the salt of the earth to get the win shouldn't really be a surprise. So that is match number 3. So I said 11 matches, but we seem to be running through them quite quick. So, like I say, the first 2 matches we've gone for WWE, and then the third match I've gone for AEW. If you agree, let me know in the comments. If you don't, feel free to let me know too. It's all a bit of fun and games. Match number 4, I've got Sting and Darby Allin, who are undefeated as a tag team in AEW, versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I know they're not really tagging at the moment, but I'd put them back together just for this match. You know, 2 absolute fan favourite tag teams. Everyone loves Sting and Darby together, and everyone loves Sami and KO together too. So I feel like this one will definitely please fans. I've got the match starts with all 4 men in the ring staring each other down. As the bell rings, Darby runs straight into a pop-up powerbomb from KO and is kicked out of the ring as KO and Sami then go to work on the icon Sting. We know what Darby's like. As soon as that bell rings, he just goes, he's like a big ball of energy, isn't he? So can you imagine him just like running towards KO and he just goes, boom, what are you on about, lad? You know what I mean? Just power bombs him in the ring. At the end of the match though, I've got Sami whips Darby into the corner, and Sting climbs up off the side and manages to make a blind tag. Sami then connects with a hell of a kick and goes to cover Darby, but he's no longer the legal man. Sting gets in the ring, hits Sami with the Scorpion Death Drop and picks up the victory. So the winners for this one is Sting and Darby Allin. They continue their undefeated run. So I'd have Sting and Darby go over in this one. Match number 5. Now this one, I had a bit of fun with booking this one. It's not just as simple and plain. So I've gone for match 5 is Wardlow versus Roman Reigns in a no disqualification match. So that's the thing, is when I was looking at Roman Reigns, I thought I can't really leave him off the match card, you know, because he is the biggest thing in WWE right now, so it wouldn't make sense to leave him off. Say the biggest thing in WWE for the last 3 years, really. But at the same time, it was hard to think of someone who would pose a threat to Roman Reigns because they've booked him so high. So obviously you had the likes of Smojo, but you're going to do champion versus champion. Everyone's going to fantasy book champion versus champion, aren't you? So I thought, why not Wardlow? You know, he's been booked quite strong recently. He's quite dominant, isn't he? And he's a big dude, so it'd be an interesting matchup. But I've put this one down as being the shortest match on the card. And I've got, at the end of the match, Wardlow hits a double powerbomb on Roman as he sets him up for the third. He's going for his powerbomb symphony, which he likes to do to finish matches. As he goes for the third one, Solo Sikoa enters the ring behind Wardlow and hits him with the Samoan spike. Obviously, don't forget, this is a no disqualification, so he's not getting DQ'd for that. The Kingdom then rush the ring, taking out Solo before Jimmy Uso appears and lays out both members of the Kingdom, that being Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, with a super kick each. Roderick Strong's next to run down and hits Uso with a chair shot. He then turns to Roman, ready to lay him out with a chair. He's lining him up. Roman's starting to get up. He's there waiting. He's going to absolutely pummel him with this chair. When he's low blowed from behind, that and from none other than Paul Heyman. Wardlow sees this and goes nuts. He grabs Paul Heyman, he gets him in position, he lifts him up for the powerbomb, and as he does so, Roman Reigns hits him with a spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns gets the victory over Wardlow, thanks to his, what's he called, his counsellor or something, Paul Heyman. So I have match number 6. We go from the WWE champion to the AEW champion. I have Samoa Joe versus Gunther. Now this would be epic. It'd just be brutal. It'd be a brutal match of chops, elbows. You know, it'd be like Strong Styles type match, wouldn't it? They just go and put everything behind all the punches and the hits and the chops and the slaps and everything else, and I think it'd just be sick. Obviously Samoa Joe wasn't booked too great in WWE, but he's been booked as an absolute machine in AEW, so take that version of Samoa Joe. And to be fair to WWE, they have booked Gunther fantastically. I can't see anyone beating him. I really think that Gunther should have been the one to beat Roman Reigns. It just makes sense. So I've got, at the end of the match, Gunther hits Samoa Joe with a powerbomb, goes up to the top rope to do that big splash he does. But Joe gets his knees up. He swings Gunther into the corner and connects with a muscle buster, but only gets the 2 count. Joe then wastes little time, slaps on the Kikina clutch, with Gunther trying to get out, but eventually he passes out. I've got Samoa Joe winning this by Gunther passing out in the middle of the ring to the Kikina clutch. Now this next one is a bit nuts. This next one would take a long time and probably would actually have to be the end of the night, if you like, because no one's going to sit there for like 7 hours, which this would end up being about if it was done in real time. Like I say, it's all for a bit of fun. But you know what? Because there's so much talent in WWE and AEW, there's so many guys and girls and teams have missed off because I just can't have everyone in it. So maybe I'll do AEW versus WWE Forbidden Door 2, who knows? But I wanted to do this anyway. Like I say, this would probably have to be like a 2-night show. So I have match number 7 as Blackpool Combat Club versus the House of Black versus Judgment Day in a 3-team War Games match. Now I know there's not normally a 3-team War Games match, but hey, it's fantasy booking and I'm booking 3 teams. The reason why I haven't picked another team from WWE, because outside of Judgment Day and Bloodline, there's not really anyone worth talking about in WWE in regards to like a faction, if you like. They're more than just 2 members. So I've got the Blackpool Combat Club members is John Moxley, Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. I've got House of Black members Malachi Black, Brody King and Buddy Murphy. And I've got Judgment Day members Finn Balor, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. No, I'm only joking. Dominic Mysterio. I've got it down as all three leaders start off the match. That's Mox, Black and Balor in a triple threat match for 5 minutes before a member from each team enters one at a time every 2 minutes. At the end of the match, we get a flurry of finishes, everyone hitting their finisher moves on each other. And then Mox hits the paradigm shift on Balor, turns around and gets hit with a paradigm shift from Dominic Mysterio. Dom then taunts Mox after hitting him with his own move rather than going for the cover. You know, he seems the type of guy who'd just be over the top, giving himself a pat on the back instead of actually trying to win the match because he's caught Mox with his own finishing move. And then I've got, as he's doing that, he turns around and is hit with a perfect, sweetly connected Black Mass kick from Malachi Black, who then covers Dominic Mysterio and gets the victory. So the winners of this match is the House of Black. So that is match 7. Like I say, probably in about maybe hour 4 at this point. Who knows? It's all fantasy, like I say. So we go on to match number 8, and I've gone for the Switchblade Jay White versus the American Nightmare in Cody Rhodes. You know, Bullet Club Gold leader versus, what was his thing that he did in AEW? The Nightmare Family or something, was it? Nightmare Family? It was like him, Brandy, his brother Dustin, QT Marshall, and the dog, I think. Anyway, I've gone for the Bullet Club Gold leader. Does everything he can to slow down the pace of the match, going outside the ring multiple times, as he always does in his big matches, especially if you watched his New Japan stuff. At the end of the match, though, after the stiff chop exchange between the two, Cody gains momentum and hits a crossroads. But Jay White manages to just pop that shoulder up and doesn't get pinned. Cody then lines up for a second crossroads, but Jay White counters and hits a quick Blade Runner, covers Cody and gets the 3 count. Winner, Jay White. Well, there's no surprise there, and let's be honest though, I love Cody Rhodes. I'm a massive Cody crybaby. I'm a massive Cody Rhodes fan, but I love Jay White just that bit more. So maybe in yours you have Cody Rhodes go over, especially if you're a WWE fan. I like both. I do like both, but I've got some favourites, and Jay White is definitely one of them. And if you know me by now, it shouldn't be surprised Jay White wins. Match number 9, and it's the second and final, a women's match. I have Athena versus Rhea Ripley. These are 2 of the best women in wrestling right now. Both had the solid run in NXT before taking completely different routes to be able to get to the top. Athena leaving, going to Ring of Honor and becoming a Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and she's having a hell of a reign. I just watched that tables match yesterday. The best of 3 series against Nyla Rose, 3 tables matches, phenomenal, and she is booked so good. I don't know who's going to ever beat her. And then you've got Rhea Ripley, who went to the main roster, had an absolute stellar match against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania last year, and has held the belt since. I just watched her defeat Nia Jax at Elimination Chamber this morning, so she is going on to WrestleMania yet again. So 2 of the biggest names in women's wrestling right now. At the end of the match, though, I've got Athena hitting the O-face, I think that's what she calls the finisher, the O-face on Rhea, but she only manages to get the 2 count. She then locks in an armbar, but Rhea manages to power up, lifting Athena up, as she still got locked onto her arm. She picks her up, and then she hits a sit-down powerbomb to break the hold. A riptide later, and Rhea Ripley gets the 3 count. So your winner for this match is Rhea Ripley. That means there's only 2 matches left now. So you have the co-main event, as WWE call it. They class every match as a main event. So what could be number 10? Match number 10 is the match everyone's always talked about, the match everyone's always wanted, the match that you could not leave off a card between WWE and AEW. It is the Young Bucks versus the Usos. A match the fans have wanted to see for decades. One of the best tag teams in WWE history versus one of the best tag teams to never sign for WWE. There's no doubt it would have potential to be match of the night on any pay-per-view card. You could put this on a WrestleMania, you could put this on an All In, you could put this on a Wrestle Kingdom, you could put this on Progress, you could put it at No Surrender, you could put it on any pay-per-view, and this will probably be match of the night. And I was close to putting it as the main event, to be honest. I would have this match though as a tornado tag rather than a standard tag, so we could have all four guys in the ring at any one time, because why not? Who wants to see Usos versus Young Bucks as a simple tag in tag out match? No one wants to see that. We want to see all four guys go at it, trying to prove who is the greatest tag team in the world of wrestling. And let's be honest, we'd need a super kick counter in the corner, because the Usos do just as much super kicks as the Young Bucks. And again, I know Jimmy and Jay are not a team at the moment, but hell, it's my fantasy, it's my booking. You couldn't not have AEW versus WWE without having the Usos versus the Young Bucks, and I feel like they get back together just to prove that they are better than the Young Bucks. So I mean, it writes itself, let's face it. At the end of the match though, I'd have the Young Bucks hitting the BT trigger on both of the Usos and simultaneously pin them, having the winners of the Young Bucks. And I'm sorry, I know all you WE marks are going to be fuming with me, but I'm sorry. For me, the Young Bucks are a better tag team than the Usos. But like I say, I want you to play along. Let me know if you disagree, and let me know if you'd have the Usos go over the Young Bucks. But I'd have the Young Bucks win this one, I'm afraid. So that brings me to the main event. The top match of the card. Who could be in it? We've already had the Young Bucks versus the Usos. We've already had Samoa Joe. We've already had Roman Reigns. We've already had Cody Rhodes, Jay White, all these big names. We've already had Rhea Ripley, Athena. We've had the House of Black. We've had the Blackpool Combat Club. We've had all the big names. Bar two. Well, there is more. But bar two. There is more, because I couldn't fit everyone on. So I have gone for the main event. Kenny Omega versus Seth frickin' Rollins. Now this is a match I've always wanted to see. Prime Kenny Omega versus Prime Seth Rollins. That's what I want to see. But I don't never want to see Kenny Omega in WWE. Let's just put that straight. And two of the best in the world. Absolute workhorses. I'd also make sure in this match that it was down in stipulation that there's no outside interference at all. None of the shenanigans that happened in Roman Reigns versus Wardlow. I don't want any of that crap. It's just one-on-one. Go out, all out, let's see. This has the potential to be better than Kenny Omega versus Okada. This has the potential to be better than Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. And this has the potential to be better than Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Anyway, I've got Seth Rollins hits the pedigree but only gets a 2 count. He then lines up Kenny for a curb stomp, but Kenny gets out the way and hits the V trigger, followed up by the Kamigoye, but only manages a 2 count himself. Rollins then slips outside of the ring trying to catch his breath, but Kenny Omega hits the Rise of the Terminator before rolling Seth back into the ring, hitting a Snapdragon suplex, but only getting another 2 counts. Both men are visibly exhausted at this point. Rollins manages to get to his feet first, hits Omega with a Falcon Arrow, followed by a Frog Splash, but only gets another 2 count. Omega avoids a second attempt at a curb stomp. He knocks Rollins onto the ropes, hits 3 strong V-triggers into the back of Seth's neck. You know he's had some problems with his back and his neck in the past, so he hits 3 strong V-triggers. Seth jumps over the ropes. He then hoists him up in the air, hits the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Kenny Omega. So I have Kenny Omega going over Seth Freaking Rollins in the main event, but you have to admit that'd be a hell of a match that you'd want to watch. So there you have it. That is my first fantasy booking of a pay-per-view on our YouTube channel. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know, obviously, if there's any matches that you think shouldn't be on the card, should be on the card. You know, like say there's so many talent that I've had to miss out, simply for the fact that I think 11's far too many for the pay-per-view. Anyway, I tried to then make it plausible by saying that Roman Reigns versus Wardlow didn't last very long. But I mean, with a War Games match in there, with Bucks and the Usos match and Kenny and Seth Rollins, I think the rest of the matches would have to go about 3 minutes to be able to do it. So that is, like I say, my first fantasy booking over pay-per-view. Let me know in the comments section what you thought, and give me some suggestions for further fancy booking pay-per-views. I'm all open to ideas. Hopefully, if this goes well, I will be doing more in the future. I did enjoy doing this. I've been waiting to record this one all week and get your thoughts. So please let me know in the comment section your thoughts and opinions. So imagine if AEW and WWE really did do a crossover pay-per-view. Well, one thing's for sure, I don't think Triple H and Tony Khan will be able to agree, 1, on booking the matches, and 2, who wins the matches. I don't think that will be something they would agree on, because both guys wouldn't want the others to go over. But I have it as, I think it worked out to 4 for WWE and 7 for AEW. But I do watch more AEW, and I do believe AEW's talent is slightly better than WWE's right now. But that's just me, and that's just my opinion. Like I say, I do enjoy WWE. There's still some guys in WWE I'll always check out. You know, Seth Rollins, 100% Randy Orton, 100% Rhea Ripley. You know, I watched the EC pay-per-view today. So don't think I'm just here to bash on WWE, because I'm not. That's how I'd book it myself personally. So if you want to book it any different, let me know in the comments. I'm really excited about this one, and I really want to see what your feedback is and how you would book these matches. Like I say, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Give me that feedback, turn on your notifications, and just let me know what you thought. So as always, stay tuned for more wrestling related content coming your way from the wrestling group very soon.